The FA Challenge Cup, everyone wants to win.
Crazy gang of feet in the Culture Club. Gerrard! Oh yes! The story of the FA Cup continues. What a goal! Rashford the scorer. Stevie Trumbo.
This is the moment of joy that all professional footballers hope for.
A moment of treasure.
The FA Cup winners are Manchester United.
Evening, welcome to Villa Park, an all Premier League FA Cup fourth round tie here between Aston Villa and Tottenham. Kick-off under 10 minutes away. No replays in the FA Cup this year, so penalties after extra time are both possibilities. Let's just show you both teams. For Aston Villa, Marcus Rashford and fellow new arrival Marco Asensio are on the bench. Another recent signing, Daniel Marlon, makes his first start for the club up front. And Mathys Tel makes his full debut for Tottenham as one of four changes from the side, beaten by Liverpool on Thursday. Teenager Mikey Moore starts as well. Joe Hart, Jermaine Defoe and Dion Dublin are with us. And because of what happened on Thursday for Tottenham, this feels massive for them, doesn't it?
Every game at the moment, there's a lot of pressure on Tottenham Hotspur. There's a lot of pressure on Ange Postecoglou. I'm a big fan. I've worked with him. I loved his methods. It gave me new life to football, but facts are facts. Sat 14th in the league, 13 points off Conference League football, which is a minimum for what Tottenham expect and what they want from that big stadium and all the investment they've put in. As you say, out of the Carabao Cup, difficult in the Europa League. This is a huge competition. This is a big night.
It feels like, in amongst all the criticism, there are positives for Tottenham as a club, which is their young players, whether that's the signings of Gray or Bergvall, but also Mikey Moore, who's come through the academy setup. You've coached him in that academy setup when you were there. What stands out for you about him?
A lot, to be honest. I think with Mikey, so much potential. I think he was the name really that when I started coaching. I remember Stu Lewis, one of the coaches at the club, said, there's a young kid coming through, like he's special. And obviously, I was fortunate enough to do a lot of work with him. And I still speak to him. He phoned me the other day because obviously he wants to score more goals and he always asks for X, Y. It's one of those young players that always wants to learn. But I'm just so happy for him because 2 years ago, we actually played here in a youth game, the Premier League Cup. And I remember Mikey coming out and Damola, who scored in Europe the other day. And I remember it was an empty stadium, but they were just like, wow, this is amazing. And now, Mikey's starting to, hopefully Damola comes on. But it's a special day.
He wants to learn then. He's got that mentality.
Yeah, he just loves football. He loves football. And he's one of those players that, with the right people around him, we could go right to the top.
Is he fearless, JD?
He's fearless. And a lot of kids at this age, you just go into games and you don't sort of realise that, the magnitude of the game. You just want to play in and get on the ball and enjoy yourself.
Plenty of great forward players who've played for both Aston Villa and Manchester United. Dwight York. Marcus Rashford's here on loan. He starts on the bench. What do you want to see from him?
A smile.
Yeah.
Basically a smile. I want to see him, and I'm pretty sure the boys would agree. If you get him smiling and enjoying him get his game again,
he was smiling in the warm-up though.
Was he?
Yeah.
But that's not where you get your plaudits. It's when you start putting the ball in the back of the net. And I think once he starts to enjoy his football again, as you can see, he can be as dangerous as anybody. I just want him to be back to what he was. And I think Villa's the perfect club for him because that's what they do. They make people feel welcome. There's leaders in that dressing room, chappers, that won't accept people not running about, that we've heard he's not been doing, he's not been working, pulling his weight. Players in that dressing room will not allow that.
His arrival, what you don't want his arrival to do is to destabilise some of those players who've been absolutely flying under the... Not that him personally would do that, but just how then they line up.
I just think with Marcus, knowing him when he first came into the England squad, he wants to do well. He loves football. He lives and breathes football. And, I've not been with him for a few years, but that's a core. That wasn't an act. So everything that's gone on recently, it looks like he's just been struggling for an identity.
Yeah.
And if he can just walk into this room, he's not Marcus Rashford. He's not the one that's coming up that everyone looks to. He can just blend in a little bit. The guys are taking care of it. He can look at how the dressing room's set up, and he can just enjoy that part, that professional, that winning mentality. Unai Emery, he's in a club that's stable, super stable.
Yeah, I think he's the one really. I think I got back in England squad when I was 34. And obviously I knew Harry Kane from Tottenham, and obviously Dele at the time was playing well, Raheem Sterling. But I remember watching Marcus in training and I thought, this kid has got everything. Everything's got all the way to the top. And of course, not too long ago, he scored 30 goals in one season. And I do believe, you know, if he can just get his head right, hopefully we'll love to see him get back to those sort of heights.
Where would you want him to play?
You know, obviously, there's been a lot of noise over the years about, you know, can he play as a number 9, which I believe he can do. I mean, at times his body language suggests that he doesn't really want to be honest. But you know, anywhere across the front line, he's so dynamic and quick, so he's always going to get chances.
Because what I meant by when you look at their options and not destabilising it is that you will have Watkins, you would have Rodgers behind, so you're then looking at out on the left, really, aren't you, for Rashford?
Listen, he can only enhance this squad of players. He's that good. I think Joe's spot on. He's just a very good bloke. He wants to play football again. He wants to get over the white line and affect football matches for whoever he's playing. Listen, I'm just so pleased that he's got away from United and he's got this bit of breath of fresh air for him.
Very quickly, it can be a cliche, but Ange Postecoglou will want a reaction, won't he, to Thursday night from these players?
A huge reaction. You can lose football matches, and I hate to say it, but you can go to Anfield and you can play well and you can lose, and you can move forward as a team. But when you see a team that didn't perform to the levels, didn't do what they've been doing in training, that would have really hurt, and there'd have been some strong words up until this game.
OK, for the moment, thank you very much. Very short and sweet build-up. That's perfect for us. Let's join your commentary team. You're going to hear a lot more of them. Alan Shearer alongside Steve Bauer.
Thank you, chappers. Good evening. Welcome to a crackling Villa Park, a ground with so much FA Cup history and tradition, and two teams here who've won the competition 15 times between them, but have certainly been starved of recent silverware. And domestically at least, all chances for one of them will be ended this evening, and he knows this is another very important day in his Tottenham tenure. Their 11th game in 36 days. Each one, it seems, by the week gathers more importance. Under the lights at Villa Park for a place in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Well, both players are missing for both teams tonight. Villa have a few added to a list, which makes 7 unavailable. Ollie Watkins with a groin injury, the latest added to the list. Axel Disasi on loan from Chelsea has to wait for his debut. He's cup-tied, so Kamara continues at centre-back. There's a second start for Anders Garcia and a full debut for the Dutch international Daniel Marlin. That means, as we've heard, both loanees, Marcus Rashford and Marcus Asensio, begin Villa life as substitutes. Spurs missing list now stands at 12, with Richarlison's midweek injury ruling him out. So there's a full debut for Mathys Tel on loan from Bayern. Just a 7th career start for 17-year-old Mikey Moore. Recalls for Pedro Porro and Lucas Bergvall. Basuma, Sarr and Davis are all on the bench. Two managers vastly experienced. Villa themselves under Unai Emery 10 unbeaten here at Villa Park. The man in the middle in an all-Premier League game is the experienced Premier League referee Anthony Taylor, supported by Gary Bezic and Adam Nunn. Alan Shearer watching alongside me. No Ollie Watkins, so the top scorer in the team is Morgan Rodgers, a player you're very fond of.
Absolutely. He's having a fantastic season, whether that's goals or assists or driving forward with that ball. As you said, with Duran gone and Watkins out injured, he's got to form another understanding with another forward in Daniel Marlin, so that's one to keep hold of. I'll watch this evening. And very similar to Mathys Tel, what a night for him. Made his debut the evening. Spurs were really poor, didn't have one shot on target. Tough environment to come into, but he'll be looking to make a huge impact.
It's all set up then. On a ground where Spurs actually have a really good recent record, and they dearly love that to continue this evening. So it will be Spurs to get us underway. Another game, another opportunity. It feels hugely significant for them. Villa looking to reach the 5th round of the FA Cup for the first time in 10 years, when they went all the way to the final, led by one Tim Sherwood.
My old captain at Blackburn. Where he's like most, Tottenham or Aston Villa, he'll tell you both actually, won't he?
Of course he will. Only Europe left for the losers of this game. Digne. Here is Morgan Rogers in that central role that he himself says he thrives on, and that's a lovely ball as well. It's a real opportunity for the early goal. Jacob Ramsey has given Villa that 1 minute into the tie. What a start for the hosts. It might be a moment that Kinski won't want to see again. But Jacob Ramsey has his 3rd goal of the season. And a disastrous start for Tottenham.
Well, you said it. It's an absolute howler from the goalkeeper. I don't need to see it again. I can look at him and see his reaction. But what I do know is Morgan Rogers in that 10-hole position again. No one marking him the touch. And I said about him driving his team forward. It's exactly what he did. Then he puts it into the path. And that is straight at the goalkeeper. He really should be doing better there. Yes, it's on target, it's got power behind it, but keeper should be doing a lot better. But what a start for Aston Villa.
A disappointed look from Kinski as it flew past him, said it all.
He had a little look into the middle of the park and box, and no one was there, so he had the shot.
Here come Villa again. Digne's cross, blocked by Porro. Villa corner, and Villa Park alive.
Well, when you're under pressure, as Ange Postecoglou is, that's the last thing you need in such an important game, a big game. After where you've been really poor 3 days ago, you don't need to get off to that start. Mountain to climb already for Tottenham Hotspur.
Short corner, in eventually from McGinn. Bergval's header. No sense already, just important moments here for Tottenham. They try and stand firm, already 1 down.
That's what you've got to do though as a forward, put them under pressure, and certainly Jacob Ramsey did that. I said he had a little look for the pass, that wasn't on, he thought why not have a shot, hit the target, and you never know. Might just go in the back of the net. It's exactly what happens. Keeper's had an absolute nightmare though.
Clean sheet in his first 2 games. It's his 8th Tottenham appearance today. The Czech Republic under-21 international. Another uncomfortable moment for him. This Konza, Villa's only 5th centre-back at the moment. Ramsey. That's his 16th Villa goal. Looking away from Bergval. Space again here for Ramsey. Rogers wants it centrally. Still Ramsey. Now it's Rogers. Overhit by Digne.
Well, you've had 2 balls already. You've had 2 balls already, Steve, into the middle of the park. One for John McGinn and one for Morgan Rogers, and at both times they've had time to take a touch and turn and put Aston Villa on the front foot. That has to be stopped. One of the Spurs midfielders has got to get tighter and make a better tackle.
Well, that was Danzo holding off Marlon, who's gone down off the pitch. He's actually given a free kick for this, Anthony Taylor.
Yeah, I thought it might have gone the other way, actually. I don't agree with that decision at all. Didn't see a free kick there.
Just for the record, you're going against the centre forward.
Just on the this
Must be the cold weather.
I won't make a habit of it, don't worry.
Theory, mate. So a set play opportunity for Villa. It's that danger area again. Kamara was the closest to it. And that's a Spurs throw. Interesting to see Ange Postecoglou has started Matisse Tell on the left-hand side and Son in a central role. So far, it's all been about defending for Tottenham.
Yeah, Aston Villa have put them under pressure. It's a really, really good start from them. Positive, bright.
Villa Park in good voice. Guard Val for Spurs to Kulusevski. Mikey Moore. Tell. He's come to Tottenham to play games. He only started 2 Bundesliga matches all season under Vincent Kompany at Bayern, the French teenager. He's great. He managed to play in 3 different defensive positions in one night on Thursday.
He's been one of the positive players, though, hasn't he? If there's any players that can come out with credit, he's certainly one of those, and really tough times.
32 games for Spurs. He's still not played one in his favourite midfield role.
Never shied away, though. He's always wanting the ball, standing up, which is a great sign. He'll come out with this a better player, I've no doubt about that. If you can take a leaf out of his book, actually, with him being so young and still standing up to the pressure that they're under, never ever hiding away.
Worth reminding ourselves he is still only 18 years of age. Kulusevski. Back to Porro. Tell. He's gone again, the Frenchman. Villa were waiting for a flag that wasn't raised. In came the cross. The whistle's gone now, though.
It's a clear push from Kulusevski, wasn't it? Just a little one.
Must be cuter in that area. Bergvall, who's recently turned 19, Sweden international.
Really good play from Morgan Rogers. He puts it into the path of Ramsey, and he thinks, why not have a shot, hit the target. Straight at the goalkeeper. What on earth he's doing? It's just a simple catch rather than diving. And yet, what a start, Uno.
Again.
just too late, just that split second too late. I want about the try and got to get closer. You've got to get that timing right at the tackle and see that pass just before it happens to then put him under pressure rather than that second too late.
In case you are just coming in and joining us, 59 seconds in. Villa took the lead. Just to increase the heat on that man at the moment.
Hey, like it, like it.
Again. Rodgers was available ahead of him again. Ramsey wrote 2 challenges. These are one of the new boys, Garcia. Now Bailey. Tielemans. And a challenge on him. And then on McGinn.
It's a bit better.
Rodgers.
Makes it look very, very easy, doesn't he, Rodgers? Receiving the ball under pressure, running with the ball. Of course, it's not. He's very, very good at it. See him drifting to trying to get into that space and offering himself up all the time.
Ramsey. Oh, lovely from Villa. Can Digne get this across? And he's got Villa another corner.
Really good play from Aston Villa. Everyone wanting the ball, moving it around at pace, and Tottenham Hotspur finding it difficult to cope, such as the speed of their passing and their movement. Little give and go and getting in behind.
Villa's second corner. Spurs everybody back to defend it. Pogba had to inside his 6-yard box as well. Neatly done by Garcia. Still going, the Spaniard. And a wild effort on his weaker foot.
Yeah, he thought, why not? He got a bit excited, didn't he? Didn't even think about crossing it in there. He thought, why not have a shot? I don't blame him.
Henry and Monchi have taken him from the Spanish second division with Levante. Orkinski then had a heart in his mouth moment. Here's Marlon. Will he be tested? Just a fraction too high from the Dutchman.
Putting themselves under pressure again, Tottenham. Obviously the goalkeeper doesn't feel comfortable and looks very, very nervy. Oh, he takes a touch or two more than he should, and then trying to play out from the back, putting his team under pressure. Unnecessary pressure. And getting a shot away. Can't hit the target though.
Full debut for the signing from Borussia Dortmund today. Slight frustration this week, not his fault, but he hasn't been named in the Champions League squad for the rest of the season because of the restrictions on the number of changes Villa can make.
I wonder if you knew that before he signed.
What do you think? Opportunity for him today, though. Here's Bailey. Still Leon Bailey! Kinski at full stretch. We were right behind that.
Deflection off Jed Spence as well, I think it was. Everything from Aston Villa at the minute is positive. Obviously the start helps.
Tielemans. Marlon, cleared by Danzo. Maintain their record this season. They've scored in all but 3 in all competitions here at Villa Park. And they almost had an opportunity to score again there through Leon Bailey.
Bailey just cutting inside there on that left foot, takes a little deflection. Keeper taking no chances. Just that little deflection, wasn't it? It's a decent save.
Just a 1 goal all season for the Jamaica international.
I just wonder whether Unai expected this, because they've had the week off, they've had time to work on 1 or 2 things, where obviously Tottenham were playing on Thursday evening.
Yeah, he was making the point. They were back in the early hours from, as he said, on Friday. A gentle session leading up to this game.
Rather gentle from him on Thursday night as well, also.
That's how to play again from the back from Spurs.
You know, sometimes that's fine when you can play out the back at the right time, when you're feeling confident. You've conceded an early goal, you've nearly given another one away, you've been playing 17 minutes and you still insist on putting yourself under pressure by playing out from the back. There is no harm now and again, just on the odd occasion, to say no, we'll just get rid of it, we'll get upfield and get up top and take the pressure off ourselves. There's no harm in doing that now and again.
As Tielemans driving forward now, he's got options left and right, and of course himself. Lord Hatkinski scrambling.
It just opened up for him, didn't it, Tielemans? I bet he's thinking, someone's going to close me down in a minute. I mean, he runs, look, from 10 or 15 yards inside his own half. Keeps going and going and going, and he thinks, why not have a shot? He just puts it wide.
Manu has very fond memories of the FA Cup with that winning goal for Leicester. Tielemans again. Caught by Bergvall.
They're doing ever so well in that midfield at the minute, Aston Villa. Tottenham can't get near them, and when they do, they're committing fouls. Their movement off the ball, and then when they receive the ball,
Garcia. Again holding off Bergvall. And Villa getting the throw. Wrestling with Danzo and coming out on top. Still going Marlon. More problems potentially here for Spurs. Another shot this time from Ramsey.
very similar situation, isn't it? This time it was Daniel Marlin who did really well in driving forward, battling off 2 or 3 challenges that they couldn't get the ball off him, and he spots Ramsey again on the left-hand side. Very similar, why not have a shot? Can't hit the target this time though.
Tielemans into Rodgers, blocked by Gray. Strength of Rodgers to win it back. Bergvall regaining possession for Spurs. Son went to ground, Tottenham free kick.
Well done, Bergvall. He won the tackle and his first thought was forward, and you could see Son making the run in behind. Got to try and slow this game down, Tottenham, and try and find a way into it, because at the minute they're just giving the ball back and putting themselves under pressure. You've got to somehow keep hold of that ball for a minute or two.
One from down zone, far too long. Well, as it stands, it would be Europa League or bust for Tottenham in terms of trophies, and the questions and the list of them would get longer for that man.
Yeah, we talk about the pressure that man's under, Postecoglou, but you talk to 1 or 2 Spurs fans and it's pretty obvious what they want. It's not to do with the manager.
And the travelling Tottenham supporters here today, over 6,000 of them. I've been making that clear already. Down to our right-hand side here today, but a lot of football still left in this tie. Left spent short there. It's a Villa free kick.
You could hear the scream anyway. Not a lot in that for me. I know he just goes over there. Well, he wins the ball, he connects with the ball, but I'm not sure there's that much of a connection with the player. Certainly for that loud scream anyway. Maybe I'm just old school, Steve.
Marlon. Ramsey took it in his stride, just a heavy touch, let Tottenham off.
Yeah, better touch and he's in.
Kulusevski. Mikey Moore. Martinez backpedaling. Son for 1-1. Martinez to the rescue.
What a chance that is. What a chance. You know, just for a second I thought he was going to come and clear the ball that went through there, but then he retreated back just in time. You can see him sprinting back. What a ball that is from Moore from the right-hand side and into the path of Son. He hits it straight at him. Wonderful save though. Makes himself as big as possible. Should score.
Where should he be looking there?
Either side of the goalkeeper. It's exactly where the goalkeeper wants it. He does make himself as big as possible, and it is a very good save. But when you're 6 yards out and you've got the whole goal to aim at, pick a side.
Well, that is, as Konsa down, Villa's only current fit centre-back. The next time they play here on Saturday against Ipswich, Axel Disasi, on loan from Chelsea, will be able to appear.
What a ball it was from that young man. Whipped it in with pace, didn't he, for Son? Fantastic ball.
This will be a concern for Unai Emery. Still his goal after 59 seconds, that's the difference, although plenty of chances have come since.
Yeah, I said about Rodgers driving his team forward. That's exactly what he did. Ball into Ramsey and no fuss. Get his shot away. Straight at the keeper, as I said. Had a bit of power behind it, but should have been a simple save for him.
2 goals and 2 assists for Jacob Ramsey in his last 3 games at Villa Park now. And Lamar Bogart is going to be required, and this is a blow for Villa, who of course have Mings and Torres injured, and Diego Carlos sold.
Yeah, there he is, just pulling up, isn't he? Just on the edge of the box, the 18-yard box. Just a little tweak, something there. Serious enough to see him go off, and as you said, we've got that many options in that position.
So the 21-year-old Dutchman is required. His 12th Villa appearance. Former Youth Cup winner. He made his debut actually in the FA Cup. He's on in this one. We expect to see him at some stage, Alan.
I would do, yes. Yeah, I think he will give him a run out, whether it's at half an hour or so. But what a chance for him, and he's got to grasp it, because it's certainly gone flat and very, very stale for him.
Tielemans caught in possession here, and tidied up by Digne. Waiting patiently for an option here. Wasn't a particularly positive one when it arrived. Danzo. The Austrian has it back, and he's overhit that as well.
How much Aston Villa have sort of dominated in the early parts of this game. I know Tottenham have had that great chance with Son, but you can see with the attempts on goal who's been the better team up to now.
Kamara, who's starting at centre-back in the 3rd successive game. Bailey, and he's got it back now. And he's got Marlon as an option here. Bailey went alone. Kinski, another save. A double save. And Ramsey unable to profit from the rebound.
It was a really good save. First one was from Bailey, wasn't it? Again, the ball through the middle into Bailey. And again, he chooses to go onto that left foot. And Ramsey just can't get it back across the goal, can he? He's following it in really, really well. Outside of the post.
Villa might be frustrated, it's only one.
Yep. But again though, Steve, worrying for Spurs, it was that ball right through the middle of the park.
More minutes than anyone for Tottenham this season. Tell's lost his footing. Bentancur. Really tidy that up. It's ended up a Tottenham throw. Bergvall fancies a crack.
He thought about the option of passing it out to Tell onto that left-hand side, but then thought, why not go inside? I don't mind that. At least he's willing to give it a go.
Don't forget, of course, you can watch every FA Cup goal on the BBC Sport website and app. Plymouth fans will be doing that today. Remember, Liverpool knocked out of the competition. We've more live football on the iPlayer tomorrow for you. That's Palace's trip to Doncaster from 7:35, and the draw for the 5th round during the One Show live. That's tomorrow from 7 o'clock here on BBC One. Rodgers managed to stay on his feet. Always one thing in his mind. Marlon following in.
It's copy, paste and repeat. Get the ball in the middle. No Spurs player in and around you, and attack them. Did very well to ride the tackle again, but again it opens up. Decent save from the keeper, who parries it back out. But again, I think that's slightly fortunate. I think that's a decent chance. How many times is it going to happen, though?
He's been a busy young man, Kinski, in the Tottenham goal.
Let the easiest one go through him, didn't he, unfortunately for him?
At least he has made some saves after that. Tielemans, all read by Jed Spence.
You had to read it well there, Jed Spence. He certainly did that.
Porro advanced. And Spurs have their first corner.
He had to time that to perfection, Spence. Otherwise, Villa are in again. But because of that, they've now got a corner.
Porro with it. Tielemans with the first header, Ramsey with the second. A little scrappy. Mikey Moore in the end trying to feed Son. Safety first from Digne.
Well done, Nicodemus. Read it well. Smelt the danger. Otherwise, he was in again.
So back to Kinski. Tell's foul. Not only Marcus Rashford in on loan, but 3 times Champions League winner Marcus Asensio from PSG, also a substitute today.
Well, they had to bring forwards in once they got rid of Duran.
Anthony Taylor is still happy for play to continue there. Much to Marlon's amazement. Anyway, Villa have it back with Ramsey. Rodgers back to Ramsey, who was looking for Marlon, but in the end by Kinski. Moore fouled. Danzo. Looked as though he was going to go on loan to the Midlands with Wolves until Spurs stepped in to change that situation. A brief loan spell in the Premier League with Southampton earlier in his career. Run back well there by Bailey.
Did well there, Leon Bailey, doing his duties defensively.
Torra. Matisse Tell. His fellow Frenchman Digne's defensive header. Only as far as Porro. Garcia away. Now, what's the interpretation there?
Good centre forward play, that is. Good centre forward play. Really is. Protecting the ball, not letting the defender get near it. And he knows if he doesn't foul him then he's away. He's all over him, isn't he? Pretty simple decision for the referee.
There speaks a man who's been there, done it, and got the T-shirt. Several of them.
Just got to give your team a breather now and again, and that protect the ball. Don't let the defender get near it, and if he does, make sure he fouls you. It's not rocket science.
Cut and paste. It's gone to Bergvall. Battled away, so too did Bailey.
Aston Villa players responding to the crowd. They're winning not with 1 or 2, actually 3 tackles there.
Kulusevski. Well read by Martinez, because Son was in the advanced position.
Really good goalkeeping, that. Read it really well.
Hasn't quite got the pace for those, Danzo, as yet.
He had to come and win it, Martinez. A bit of a stall up for the ball when he had to make the great save from Son in the end, but not on this occasion. made his mind up straight away and he had to win it.
Great. Will Rodgers get to that? He won't.
A little bit more joy in terms of possession from Tottenham, without doing a lot with it at the minute.
Went out at this stage last season in the last minute at home to Manchester City. Having won 4 out of 4 fourth round ties prior to that. Garcia there first. This is encouraging for Villa. Garcia's gone again. Just couldn't get on the end of that in the end. A little too much pace on it from Bailey.
Well, Jed Spence made the decision to go in, knowing that if he didn't win that ball, then his team was going to be in trouble. Garcia just got there before him.
First to that, then Porro for Tottenham. Ramsey, the goal scorer. Well, ended by Bentancur. No foul. Anthony Taylor happy to play on. There goes Marlon. Rodgers waiting. The referee has already blown his whistle, though.
I suppose the small positive, if you like, is after conceding so early in the game that it still is only 1-0. I know there's been a couple of scary moments for them. And they've only created that one opportunity themselves, haven't they, where Son should have scored.
Digne. It's gone Villa's way in the end. Nicely done by McGinn. Final minute of the first half. We understand there's going to be 2 added on.
Kulusevski's struggled in there for Tottenham. He's not been able to make an impact at all, both offensively and defensively. Not really been on the ball and struggled when Villa have been in that midfield.
There's confirmation of the 2 added on minutes as Spurs give it away. Marlon!
Got to go across goal. He has to go across the goal. You might have a look at the keeper and think he's trying to nick it at the near post, but Gray gives the ball away again. Tottenham playing themselves into trouble. But if you have a look across the goal here, there, I think it's Tielemans that's running in, trying to get up there. Even if he saves it, he might parry it into his path or hits a post or whatever, but he has to go across the goalkeeper.
Well, he will be frustrated they've only got one. When you tally up the opportunities in this first half. Tell. Into Kulusevski. All the way through for Mikey Moore, but he's got it back. Bergval. Spence, straight at Martinez.
His only option, I think. Could be some shot to beat him from there. Ange at half-time has got to look at the balance in that midfield, because that's where Aston Villa have been dominating all their good work. They've gone straight through the middle. The way they've passed it and moved it around and moved the Spurs players around, they've not really been able to get near them. Dominated in there.
Villa have dominated, but the difference at half-time is only 1 goal. And that came from that man after just 59 seconds with an error from Kinski in the Tottenham goal, who's since made saves. And the skipper Son with the one and only big chance for Tottenham to equalise, which he couldn't take. Martinez denied him. And Postecoglou again has some talking to do. His team are behind, but by only 1 goal at half-time at Villa Park. Villa 1, Spurs 0.
Little shake of the head from Ange Postecoglou as he heads towards the Villa Park tunnel. And I suppose, Jermaine, the positive for him is that it's only 1-0, actually.
Yeah, I mean, Villa, they've got into some really interesting areas. I thought they looked really good on the transitions. I think that's where their chances have come from. Obviously scored early on. Tottenham be disappointed with that. But there's lack of urgency. Not quick enough, you know, with and without the ball. You're not really getting close. But even the press, I mean, when we see the goal back, I think the press was all wrong. You know, you've got to protect the middle. Nothing comes through the middle. If anything, go around the outside. The touchline's your best friend. I love to say, you know, just show them wide. But just breaking lines, going through the middle is too easy.
And that's the point, isn't it, Dion? You know, we spoke briefly pre-match about 4th round of the FA Cup, massive chance for Tottenham, bounce back after what happened during the week, and Villa basically waltzed through for the first goal.
Too easy, far too easy. And you know what, Villa aren't really playing that well at the moment. They're not having to do too much. What they are doing is when they're receiving the ball in the middle of the park, it's, I'll get it, I'll turn and I'll play another forward pass. No pressure on any Villa players whatsoever. Haven't laid a finger on them. It's far too easy. Spurs are just passive.
But if you're in that Villa dressing room, you're like, how is this only 1-0?
Well, as Dion said, I think Spurs, if you look at the contrast, Villa have got themselves into an emotional state in this game where they wanted to come out and fight and show, and they almost got given a goal and kind of lost their intensity because of the way that Tottenham are playing. But there's still been a few times on transition, as Tottenham hurt them in the Premier League, slight turnovers, and they've had chances. They should have blown them a mile away.
They're angry behind it that first half. Take us through, Dion, the goal.
I'll take him outside in a minute.
Well, if you do that, I'll be just behind you. All right.
I just think what Villa have done, it was only a matter of time. You know, they've had a couple of chances. They've hit the target 3 or 4 times. Well, the keeper's done okay. But look, there's not one physical bit of contact from a Spurs player at all on a claret and blue shirt. And to get to that stage,
First minute.
do you know, and that's it. And that's the thing about it as well. Joe's right, first minute as well. Joe, you can't just waltz around like this.
No.
Yeah.
Look at the space.
I mean, it's too easy there.
Look at that. I mean, Why has he got so much space? Why isn't anybody talking? Jay, you know, you're a coach. You can't coach that.
And even I think when you look at, when you just look at the setup from the fullbacks and that, and you know, I know in possession the fullbacks go forward and then inverted, but at the same time, you know, I think you have to recognise when you can go forward when you've got good possession, because as soon as the ball turns over, I think that's where you know Villa would exploit those sort of spaces.
And look, this moment, this just epitomises what Tottenham have been like. Kinski, when he came in against Liverpool, free, young, signed, come in to save the club, excellent, made, you know, brilliant decisions, and I've just seen gradually the pressure and the weight of this Tottenham team, the emotion around Tottenham at the moment. It's kind of culminated in him being in goal there, having a very simple shot at him, hit down the middle. All right, it was hit with no spin, slight bit of wobble, but that's football. He's a 21-year-old.
Is that a concentration thing? Because it's so early in the game.
It's not. It's an emotion, Jay. He just wants that ball away from him, and it's relatively speaking. We saw at the very end there, Martinez had a very similar shot, struck at him. The goalkeeper is in perfectly control. Knows what he's doing and he just caught it. There's no doubt that Kinski can save or do what he wants with that ball, but he just wanted it away from him and he rushed it and it's just gone straight through him.
Look, he's an international goalkeeper. He's a Czech under-21 international goalkeeper. He had a very impressive debut against Liverpool in the League Cup. In the month since that debut in the first leg of the League Cup semi-final, he's played behind 5 different central defensive partnerships. Now, I appreciate that doesn't give him an excuse for that one, but it's a bit of context into what he is having to deal with.
Well, it's not an excuse, it's a reason, you know? It's a reason why that he's making jerky saves. Even the saves that he's making tonight, he won't be overly pleased with them. Trust me, when we see his career change and blossom and him mature, you'll see a totally different keeper to someone who's a month into a Tottenham team that's really struggling for confidence, struggling for identity, and a young guy in goal doing his best and just feeling like he wants to get that ball as far away from the goal as possible.
He did make a couple of saves, and these are the chances really where Villa should be further ahead.
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, too easy. You know, Dion spoke there about, you know, making contact. I think, listen, that's the bare minimum. You know, it's non-negotiable. You've got to get tight to people and do all the basics. I think Bailey comes inside there. We know how good he is in the position, but that's a good save, Harty. You know, just push it away from the danger.
Yeah, a save, like I say, he's more than capable of. He's a good goalkeeper, you know, someone with great potential. But he's just seeing, you know, he's constantly seeing Tottenham players running back at him, Villa players, 4 or 5 options. People can be slipped in. Are they going to take the shot? I don't think Villa have taken their opportunities at all. They should have really, really, really capitalised on those opportunities.
Obviously, the nature when there are chances like that is to look at the defending, is to look at Tottenham's midfield and criticise. When we look at the amount of space that Villa have had, do you credit the Villa players for finding the space? But what? There's an element of that, isn't there? And being between the lines, or is it simply what are Tottenham doing?
You know what, JD, he's the coach. He spotted the gaps between the white shirts. It's just huge, whether it's the defenders or the midfield players. There's no combinations. There's no trios playing together. I mean, it's so easy. I mean, there's 4 players out of the game there, and none of them get back in. None of them are really working hard to get back in.
Listen, I hate the term. When people talk about, like, you know, high press, low bottom, mid, I just think sometimes when you concede a lot of goals and you're going through a period where you're not winning games, I think sometimes you need characters and someone out there to say, you know what, let's just get into a solid shape. Just get into a shape and that. Like I said before, protect the middle, let nothing go through the middle, especially when they've had a few occasions where they should have scored Villa. They've got some good areas. But it's just, there's no voices, no one's voicing it. Again, too easy. You know, there is like, it's a 5v3 or whatever it is, and you know that's a good.
So, Jermaine, if you want that voice there to say, right, come on, let's talk. Who is that for you there? Bearing in mind, there's a 19-year-old Bergvall alongside Bentancur. There's an 18-year-old Archie Gray alongside Danso, who only signed a week ago.
But there's nothing wrong with a young player saying it, because what happens is, when there's no structure, you end up doing too much running. Whereas if you're in a good shape, you do less running. And like I said before, you have to protect. It's too easy. The amount of times Villa have just got it and they've just breaking lines. And then, you know, in those areas, they've got such good players that they, you know, they get on a half turn, they create chances from that. Someone has to say something. If you've been picked to play for Tottenham, I don't care if you're 15 or 35, you have the right to say exactly that. What you've just said, stay here, don't go anywhere. Let's hold tight for 15 minutes.
As we see the game unfold, Bentancur is coming to mind for me. An experienced player, a very good player in such an important position on the pitch, and I'm not seeing that. I'm not saying that's his fault, but if I was Ange Postecoglou, that would be the person I want playing.
Sonny as well.
I'd want my number 6 though. I'd want my number 6. I haven't got my goalkeeper. I've got a new centre half and a young centre half. 6 is probably the most experienced point, because when you're a build-up team, it's someone who pivots, who can take it on the half turn, and I'm not seeing it.
for all that's being said, I mean, there could be 1-1, couldn't they? They probably should be 1-1. Yeah. What would you have done here?
It's a fantastic chance.
To
be fair, when he went through, I mean, Mikey does so well to pick out the pass. You know, it makes it look easy, but it's not easy. But I mean, I think we all fancied Sonny to score there. You know, he's got a fantastic goal scoring record on that. But listen, if that's a confident player there, he scores. But when you actually watch it back, you know, the goalkeeper obviously leans early. I don't know what you're thinking about. Just a confident striker there scores.
He does, and just seeing there, that's where Konza does it, and that's where Martinez, I think, has been excellent for Aston Villa, and excellent in his progression, in how he's built himself into this goalkeeper now. He's smashed himself through into Aston Villa, put himself on the scene, all the antics, but now he's just, at the big moments, he's humongous for his team.
If the goalkeeper confidence is just push it out and deal with whatever happens afterwards, for a striker's point of view, is that just get a touch on it rather than...
Sonny's thinking there, let me just hit the target with a bit of pace, whereas we said this, he said, myself and Jay, as the ball's coming from the right-hand side, we'd have both leant to the left and pushed it to the right. Where the goalkeeper's legs were, that's all you got to do. And that's what Sonny would have done if he was confident.
With confidence, and he's running off with that big smile and the celebration.
Exactly,
100%.
But it's just a different emotion and they're searching for it, and the characters just aren't there.
No. Is the game easier from up here?
Oh, so much easier. I've got a hat-trick by now. I'm on 3.
Highlights of today's other fourth round ties on the way in just a moment.
Oh, sorry.
Are you serious?
You got jokes, yeah?
Tidy.
You excited? I'm simmering, mate, bubbling up.
Comedy to lift your mood on BBC iPlayer.
Plenty more sport coming your way. Rugby special later tonight. Analysis of the second weekend of the Men's Six Nations. The FA Cup fifth round draws on the One Show tomorrow. Doncaster against Crystal Palace in the fourth round is on the iPlayer, and you can join Gabby for highlights of Manchester City, Real Madrid and Celtic against Bayern Munich in the Champions League playoffs. 10:40 on Wednesday on BBC One.
We have got an epic showdown tonight.
This is my game, this is what I do, and I'm not messing about.
Look, you've got a floppy doodah.
I am the referee, and what I say goes.
Gladiators continues Saturday, 5:50 on BBC One and iPlayer.
Let's take a look at the action from earlier then. Blackburn against Wolves on the way, but we'll start with Plymouth against Liverpool.
Sorinola to take. Well, they're claiming handball, it's a penalty. And Sam Barrett says Harvey Elliott had his hand in the air. This to give Plymouth Argyle the lead against Liverpool, and he does. Very well taken penalty kick. Ryan Hardy sparks the home park celebrations. Won the header, and it's Hardy. Oh, and it's come off the post. Endo. McConnell. Jota, good hit, brilliant save. Fantastic save by Conor Hazard. In it goes from Kostas Tsimikas. It glances around the back, McConnell's header square, and Darwin Núñez sees it tipped over the bar. And there it is! Plymouth have knocked Liverpool out of the FA Cup.
I just said it in the change room there, we've wrote ourselves in Argyle's history. What a day, to be honest, beating the world champions, the biggest team in the world, isn't it? The number one at the minute, so beating them, it's going to go down in the club's history.
These players should be able to win a game like this as well, but we also knew that this is a difficult game because of their playing style, and yeah, not good enough to win the game, or we should say they played a very good game.
In from Buckley with purpose, and it's met with the header it deserves by Dom Hyam, albeit from an offside position. Oh, I tell you what, that's extremely close. Oh, VAR, so the decision will stand, but I tell you what, that is as tight as anything. Gonzalo Guedes, Huang, Joao Gomez has squeezed it under the goalkeeper. That's a poor goalkeeping error. Belgat, Nelson Semedo, Mateus Cunha, and just like that, Wolves in control. Mateus Cunha has delivered the goal to give them breathing space. Here comes Mateus Cunha for Wolves, and towards Sarabia. Pablo Sarabia had an opportunity to end all doubt about the tie's outcome.
And we'll talk more about those results at the end of the game here at Villa Park, where Aston Villa lead Tottenham by a goal to nil. And as far as Villa are concerned, really in the second half, they need to kill this off, don't they?
Yeah, just take those chances. I think the way they've set up is good. They look very comfortable going through the thirds because there's no pressure on them at all. Take your chances, put the ball in the back of the net, and that's job done for Villa. What you would say from a Tottenham point of view is certainly attacking-wise, when you look at the bench, there are not many options because of the injury problems that Ange Postecoglou has to deal with.
No, not at all. Obviously, you know, Pape Sarr could come a little bit legs in the middle of the pitch. Demola Jan, one of the young players who I mentioned at the top of the show, obviously scored in Europe, could potentially come on. And I'll just say, you know, you just got to stay in the game. You know, stay in the game. You know, the next goal in this is massive.
I was just thinking from the opposite bench, Marcus Rashford and Asensio must be dying to get on that pitch with the space that's being opened up for them. Tottenham are going to get tired, young legs, confidence is low. Well, that's a big thing certainly from Rashford's point of view. If you're looking at confidence and trying to build yourself up, this could be a perfect half hour for him. He'll be dying to get. I know Unai Emery's he's a smart operator. He'll see that opportunity. All right, as you can see, teams are back out. Let's rejoin Alan Shearer and Steve Bauer.
And Ange Postecoglou has had his say, and he is making a change. Yves Bissouma is the man introduced by the Tottenham manager at half-time. Mikey Moore, the 17-year-old, is the one to depart. So maybe like you, Alan, he's realised that gaping hole in midfield needs plugging.
Well, we spotted it in the first half, and the boys mentioned it at half-time that Villa were getting through that midfield, so it's no surprise that he's tried to tighten that up and plug those gaps. It's a little bit harsh on young Mikey Moore. As I said, Kulusevski didn't have much that he was doing in that first half, and he could have been one that could have been taken off, but he stuck with him.
So Villa, who haven't made a change, get us underway in the second half, having lost 9 of the last 10 games here against Spurs. 1-0 ahead in this one. And they know it could and really should be more. But still, Tottenham well in the cup tie. That's a little loose, and Bailey's onto it. Marlon takes over. And Danzo to the rescue. Leon Bailey still grounded after that challenge.
I'll just go into the middle of the park, Ronnie Bissouma, and Kulusevski will come on that right-hand side where Mikey Moore was in that first half. Just stands on his foot, doesn't he? He'll be all right.
So the 28-year-old to try and help Tottenham come back into this cup tie. Gingerly back to his feet. Dinier's throw. Bentancur first to it. A late challenge by Bergvall. He's accumulating a few of these.
Rodgers is not happy with that challenge. think that's one of those at half-time where your manager's got stuck into you to say, is anyone ever going to put a tackle in or get close to one of their midfielders? I think that's exactly what's happened in the dressing room.
We've seen enough of him to know that he does like a tackle, young Bergvall. It's possessed by Kulusevski. Bissouma. Foul. Matty's tell. Kulusevski. Son made the run, there's no flag. It's a very good challenge from Bogart, the substitute.
Was a really good challenge. Around the corner, ball into the path of Son, and he had to get back and put that tackle in. Great tackle.
So Spurs have their second corner of the game. Kulusevski delivers. McGinn's header away. Lifted back in from Tell and put behind by Digne.
Yeah, good defending again. He had to get that header, Digne, because Son was behind him. A bit of pressure from Tottenham Hotspur in front of their own supporters.
6,000 of them here at Villa Park today. Bogart, his defensive header hit his own man there. And Martinez will gather, but that was a concern for Digne.
He should have blown earlier, the referee, because he hit him in the face. Should have known that was a head injury. His own player that headed away, tried to clear it, but it caught him straight in the face, I think.
He hasn't named his full quota of substitutes today. Unai Emery, 7 of them, 2 of them goalkeepers. Such as the length of his list. The players unavailable. He's already lost Konza, in case you're just joining us. Some concern here for Lucas Digne.
Yeah. I hope he's okay. He didn't know anything about it. It definitely was his own player trying to head it away. It's really unfortunate. He went down straight away. He's up. Wasn't it, that had the clearance and unfortunately catch him straight in the face.
And the Frenchman is ready to return. From Martinez, back from Danzo. Kamara. Important interception there from Kulusevski.
A little bit more energy about Tottenham, isn't there? More people wanting to get on the ball and more of a reaction when they haven't got the ball.
Most fans would have expected that from the off after Thursday evening. But here they come with Porro. Pulled it back for Son. Then Basuma. Nick Kamara for another Tottenham corner, their third in quick succession.
A fully confident Son doesn't pass that. If he's scoring goals and at the top of his game, he's having a pop-it goal there. He's not even thinking about passing that. He's taking one touch and having a shot. Yeah, because of the way he is, he chooses to pass it.
Anthony Taylor just needing a word before this is taken. Porro with it. Bergvall trying to apply the flick, and quickly at Tell. It's come back to Bergvall. And eventually, Kamara's clearance does the job. Certainly more threatening from Spurs. Well, that's been won by McGinn. Bailey bursting away to his right. Leon Bailey against Jed Spence, and Spence is the winner.
Well done, Jed Spence. Certainly you can tell the manager's got into them at half-time, and rightly so. You can tell because they've come out and they're playing on the front foot. They've got more energy. There's more about them. Everyone wants the ball.
Ramsey. Now Garcia for Villa. Useful ball, excellent challenge from Danzo. From one end we go to the other. Basuma for Tottenham. Kulusevski against Digne. Pretty comfortable save in the end for Martinez.
It's an open game now, end to end. Villa attacking, one ball coming into the box, and then Tottenham win it back, and all of a sudden they're on the front foot, and Kulusevski having the little shot at goal, not troubling Martinez though.
Bentancur's foul.
At least they're getting the tackle in. They weren't doing that in the first half. They're 30 or 40 yards further up the pitch and making that tackle there and not letting that midfield settle like they were in the first half.
His words having an effect.
That in the first half, Villa player takes the ball, turns and puts them on the attack. Whereas from now, all of a sudden they've got nowhere to go and someone's tackling them from behind like they should do. Same again like that.
Well, that was of high risk Kulusevski in the way. Kamara checked his wing mirrors, thankfully, because Son was right behind him.
We've got a reaction from the Spurs fans as well now. That tells a story as well with the possession, doesn't it?
Excellent from McGinn. Away from two Spurs players. And now he's looking for Ramsey, and it's come to Jacob Ramsey! And this time he's denied by Kinski.
And that's what they've got to be careful of if they're going to commit and press high. As you know already that Porro's on his way. Spurs are not comfortable on the ball, and he's into the midfield yet and leaving that space in there. Say what you want about the keeper and making that error, he has made 2 or 3 good saves between then and now, and that was one of them.
Real cuts I feel about this one now. You can argue, Al, that Kinski has kept Tottenham in the tie.
Yeah.
He's responded well to that glaring error in the first minute. Porro. Son on the move. Porro didn't get there. He did second time. Tottenham throw.
Yeah, again, no harm in that long ball in behind. Son's made the run, you play it in behind. He might not get the ball, but you get a throw in. It's much, much better from Tottenham Hotspur. They do have to be really careful though, because Villa have got pace and ability to hurt you on the counter-attack.
Rodgers. Well and truly fouled there by Bentancur, who's the recipient of the first yellow card of the tie.
It's an easy decision for the referee. Very clever at that, Rodgers. So well at protecting the ball, getting his body in there. So if you're going to win it, you're going to have to foul him.
Digne.
You just wonder what was said from a Tottenham Hotspur point of view before the game. Coming on to this game on the back of not even having a shot on target at Liverpool and being really criticised. You think you'd come into it like they are now in the first half, not this second half. What's he saying to them before the game?
They're 10 points behind Villa in the league. Could easily be further than 1 goal down here, but that's still the case with half an hour to go. Danza. The Austrian assessing his options. That was ambitious. Offside flag was up in any case.
The assistant was just waiting to see whether Villa were going to have a break or not, because he was waiting to put his flag up. He was offside.
Ramsey. Bergvall, and I think the accumulation, it's not that foul, it's the number of them that has earned him the yellow card as well.
It's a really clever ball from McGinn into Ramsey there. Again, he has to foul him or he's away. He's into the back three.
committee meeting here. Tottenham has told the other two to leave it to him. There's a double Villa change imminent as well. Wide from Tielemans. In from Bailey. Taken by Kinski.
Not the best throw, son. Seen a proper goalkeeper bouncing it into him, a slow pass. Put them under pressure.
Marcus Rashford and Marcus Asensio are both imminent.
And two lone boys
for Villa debuts. No surprise, you sensed that this was the plan. Aston Villa's new number 9. Boga. Lovely ball from Tielemans into the stride of Marlon. Trying to get away from Bissouma. He's found Bailey. And then Marlon's cross. Porro, and the follow-in is from Morgan Rogers. And Aston Villa double their advantage. And just as he did in round 3, it's Morgan Rogers on the score sheet. His 11th of the season. 2-goal advantage for the hosts.
He deserves it. He's been the best player on the pitch by a mile. And he reads it really, really well. Just when Tottenham were coming back into the game and we said they're showing more energy and coming into the game, they've been punished by Aston Villa. They work it really, really well. A wonderful pass there, and he's got options to the left and the right. Marlon chooses to his right. I think it's barely going to take too long, and he wasn't, but then Marlon crosses and they can't get it away. And first to react is Morgan Rogers. Snap that up, tap in for him. And here come the Villa substitutes.
Well, Bailey and Marlon involved in the build-up. And that is their last involvement in helping Morgan Rogers score after Porro there couldn't complete the clearance.
Just can't get enough on him, Porro, can he? And Rogers is waiting to pounce. 2-0 it is.
Well, there's a huge roar for the two new boys. 3 times Champions League winner in Marcus Asensio. 2 times FA Cup winner in Marcus Rashford, who plays football in a shirt other than Manchester United's for the first time in his life.
I hope he realises he's in last chance saloon. He's got the chance to get his career back on track. Start playing football with a smile on his face again. We're very, very privileged people to be paid to be playing football. You've got to go out and make the most of it. It doesn't last for very long. And Unai Emery's prepared to give him that opportunity and to try and coax and get the best out of him for the next few months, at least.
Hasn't played at all since the 12th of December. There's his first touch. But he has, remember, at the age of 27, played 426 club games and 60 international games.
And there's no doubt the ability's in there, but we haven't seen it for such a long time now. The big question is, does he want it? And can Unai Emery get it out of him if he does want it?
And Balzo is cut after that challenge with Rashford.
Blood there, unfortunately, as well. Definitely a cut on his head. just catch him with the elbow, doesn't he? There's no intent there, unfortunately. It's just an accident. The way you jump and the way you spring. Sometimes you have to use your arms as leverage, and sometimes accidents happen.
We know that's accidental, but in case you're asking why you're not seeing a different replay, there is no VAR until round 5 of the FA Cup.
It's a complete accident, I think.
Huge noise inside Villa Park after that Holten goal. They've actually seen their team lose 9 of their last 11 FA Cup ties. Last won this trophy back in '57. We've been into 2 finals since. Danzo being patched up down below us.
Bentancur, I think, will have to drop in there.
They're still temporarily down to 10, Tottenham. There's the other new boy, Asensio. Asensio. Garcia's cross off Bergvall. Tielemans. Deflected on the way through. And they're happy to see that out for a corner.
He cheekily wanted handball as well. He had a little look at the referee. Thought it was going to fall really, really nice for him, but he was closed down well.
Now Digne. Got it back from Rashford. Digne has options here, very important. Sliding block from Spence. And that's gone out of play, and it's another Villa corner.
He was quick to close him down there, Marcus Rashford. He wasn't letting him out. See the reaction he's getting from the Villa fans.
Rashford once more. Taking on Porro. Porro's block. Back in from Digne. Tielemans had a swing. And Tell can bring it away for Tottenham.
Just couldn't get the connection, could he, Tielemans? He read it really well. Bergvall didn't read it in the air.
Interception from McGinn. Kamara. From Bogart. Touch from Asensio. Second one wasn't bad either. Into Rodgers. Back to Asensio. And Rodgers again. What a goal this will be.
Goodness me. Flicks, tricks, nutmegs. They're enjoying now. They're the Villa players. They got that second goal, and it's them that are now clicking on the front foot. Asensio there, I thought he was going to use his body and let it run through him, but no, he decides to touch it. Then the back flick. Then through the legs. Then Rodgers gets it back again. Can't get his shot on target.
Tottenham change in midfield while we're watching that. Sarr is on for Bentancur. Again. There goes Rodgers again. And again. Into Garcia. Super football from Villa. Tielemans. Asensio. The timing really, Alan, couldn't have been better with that second goal. Just about to introduce the two new boys, and they go and score and then bring them on.
Yeah, it was really good play. Just when Tottenham were, as I said, getting stuck in, pushing further up the park, having a little bit of joy, and Villa punished them.
Rashford's had joy going past Porro there, and then goes down. Anthony Taylor shakes his head.
I did think he clipped his legs, you know.
Tielemans adamant.
There's certainly been a reaction to him coming on. And there, he does connect with him, there's no doubt about it. Really positive from Rashford. There. How was that not a free kick?
As you say, very positive. Twice he's gone round Porro already now. That's a foul by Digne, though. Gray. Spence. Again to dispossess Son. Tells won it back. So too. There's Garcia. That's calmly done.
Confident.
Rashford's touch. Rodgers. Ramsey's got Asensio up with him. Ramsey went alone. Kinski's done the job again.
From one end of the pitch to the other. Brilliant football. That's full of confidence and belief from every single Aston Villa player. It's another 1v1 with the goalkeeper, Kinski, and he stands big. Makes another save. Another pass in there. Rodgers. Whether he can lift it over him. Ramsey just doesn't get the height on it, does he? Another good save, though.
And a disastrous beginning to the game.
Yeah. Shown good
great character since then, hasn't
Absolutely.
he? The 21-year-old goalkeeper. Tell. Lovely touch from Kulusevski. Can he keep it in? He can. Digne's in the way.
Digne had to be careful there. He just had to be careful he didn't clip the back of his legs, Kulusevski. He knew if he did, he was giving a penalty away.
Porro's corner. He's tumbling out to Bissouma. Bissouma to hit one. And you can't get to that. Porro all the way across and over from Danzo.
Great ball in. It was a really tough ball to handle because it was coming in with pace from Porro. But he has to do that to get it across. Whips it in there. Just can't get the connection with it. I think he sees it late as well, though. Yeah. Garcia's putting him under pressure there at the far post. Doesn't see it till late.
Don't forget, of course, you can watch every FA Cup goal on the BBC Sport website and app. Plymouth will be doing that today, that's for sure. And more live football for you tomorrow from the FA Cup on the iPlayer from 7:35. Palace go to Doncaster. And the 5th round draw in the One Show live from 7 o'clock tomorrow. And as it stands, Aston Villa's name will be in that particular hat for the first time in 10 years. Unless Spurs can do something about it in the last 12 minutes or so. Digne, not quite on that occasion. Spence. Kulusevski. Ramsey. Porro's foul. Ramsey didn't like that.
They wanted the foul on Kulusevski a minute or so earlier. And Anthony Taylor, the referee, wasn't having it. Porro's taking his frustration out, getting a yellow card.
So he joins Bentancur and Bergvall in the book. Meanwhile, Lucas Digne will have a rest. Straight swap at left back for Villa. The Dutchman Ian Maatsen coming on to replace him. Asensio to deliver the free kick for Villa. Porro in the way. Gray being chased down by Rashford. And in the end, evasive action taken by Danza. Rodgers. Out and low from Rashford. Positive from Spence. And 2 from McGinn.
He's done well in the midfield, McGinn. He's rallied really well. Experienced. Put his tackles in when he's had to as well.
Tells run out of pitch. So as it stands, here's Tottenham's only hope of silverware rests with the Europa League.
Well, we heard the Tottenham fans this afternoon behind the goal. It's been a constant, long periods of this game. Their noise is telling they want him out. They feel he's to blame rather than coaches or managers, I guess.
Bissouma. Cleared by Garcia.
Having said all that though, Steve, you shouldn't be getting a reaction 10 minutes into the second half. When you've been done the way you have at Anfield, that should have been in the first half. That should have been the first 10 or 15 minutes. And that can only come from the manager.
Into Asensio, the two new loan signings. Rodgers. I think he was looking for Rashford, you know.
It's his only bad pass of the game, I think.
As it stands, Alan, this will be 21 defeats in 46 games for Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, I know and I know he'll point to the injuries, and it's absolutely right. They've had injuries that have hurt them so much, but a lot of teams have got injuries, had injuries, and coped a lot better than Tottenham have. They've had to put youngsters in when perhaps they're not ready, but in fact some of the youngsters they've put in have been the better players.
Villa throw. He's already got his club into the knockout stages of Europe's top competition for the first time in 42 seasons. They are 6 points off the top four in the Premier League, and they're heading to the 5th round of the FA Cup for the first time in a decade. And remember, when he walked through the door, they were a point above relegation. Bogart penalised.
Well, if the comeback's going to happen, it has to start now. Going into the last 5 minutes or so. Free kick in a really good position. Yeah, he just catches his ankle.
Can Tottenham give themselves some hope from somewhere? Martinez barking at his instructions there. Son is behind it. And he's rolled it towards Kulusevski, and Porro in the end. I'm not sure it needed quite the reflexes of Martinez, but it was comfortable.
Yeah, I think Villa read it really well. They closed it down. They saw what Son was trying to do there, and they just couldn't work it the way they wanted it to. It was fairly comfortable for Martinez in the end. You know, I mentioned some of the younger players from Tottenham. What I haven't mentioned is some of the more experienced players. Son, for one, not seen anywhere near enough of him recently. When they've needed him most, when they've needed him to put the ball in the net and set an example with him being the captain, he hasn't shown enough.
Salah wins that challenge. Kulusevski. Cleverly done, and chased by Martin. Bergvall. He's outnumbered. Rodgers, he was trying to feed Rashford. He stepped in.
Very nearly.
Kulusevski.
Can cross it. Don't have to play that pass.
Well, it's reached that time for you to name your player of the match, Alan.
I think the outstanding player on the pitch has been Morgan Rodgers. He's made football and receiving the ball and passing look very, very easy tonight. And of course it isn't. He's a wonderful talent, can score goals, can play those key passes, which he has done. He's been magnificent for large parts of this season and indeed in this game tonight.
He looks an absolute bargain, doesn't he? His next game will be 50 in a Villa shirt. Today is his 14th goal in a Villa shirt. 22 years of age.
Great talent. So much ahead of him.
Son. Blocked by McGinn. Now Rashford. He's waiting for Ramsey to get up with him. He's going to go alone, is he? Heavy touch at the end of it.
I think he might be hurt. And young Gray hurt as well. It's just a heavy touch, wasn't it? You could see what he was trying to do, trying to work it onto that right foot to get his shot away. Oof. It's a nasty tackle in the end, isn't it? He catches him late. Gray. It's good defending.
I'm sure he wanted that pass straight away. Still moving gingerly. First of 4 successive home games for the Villa fans. Ipswich here on Saturday, then Liverpool now the following Wednesday because of their appearance in the League Cup final, and Chelsea follow them.
Well, they've got their own injury problems, haven't they, Aston Villa?
They didn't need that one to Konza today, that's for sure. Disassi can play here against Ipswich on Saturday. Incidentally, Spurs are back here in the penultimate game of the Premier League season as we get to 5 minutes of stoppage time. Kulusevski. It's useful. Tell. Well, it's late, but it might just give a flicker of hope for Tottenham. Matisse Tell has his first goal for the club on his full debut for the club, and he's pulled it back to 2-1.
Well, I said we were going to see a reaction. We had to see one pretty soon. That was a few minutes ago. There's still, what, 4 and a bit minutes to go. Well, that's what happens when you put a ball in and across it. As I said earlier, you don't have to get to the byline. Kulusevski puts it in there in the hope that someone's going to get on the end of it, and Tells does exactly that. He gets away from the defender, reads it well. It's a great finish into the corner. 4 minutes they've got, Tottenham.
So the 19-year-old just rejuvenates belief. Here goes Sarr, blocked by Martin. That's incredible, isn't it? The amount of chances Villa have had in this game. We wouldn't have predicted this scenario. Could they get another? It's broken to Basuma. Son's blocked from McGinn. Bergvall. Kulusevski again, but that one's too close to Martinez.
All of a sudden there's a little bit of panic in that Villa back four now, isn't there? He tries to do exactly the same or something similar anyway by putting the same ball in, but this time keeper comes and collects it. And he's not going to be in a hurry, that's for sure.
It's gone straight to Gray. 2.5 of the 5 added on remain. Jed Spence. Tottenham free kick.
Just what you didn't want to do. Give a free kick away in dangerous positions. Your team under pressure.
In it goes, right on top of the goalkeeper, and too close to it.
Too close to him. He needed a quality ball in there. Need to put it so near to the goalkeeper, or give him the invitation to come and collect it. And again, he won't be rushed. Take as long as he can, Martinez, and holding on to that ball.
Huge kick from Martinez. Danzo's header. Ramsey. Foul on Tielemans.
A minute to see it out, Aston Villa. Don't suspect this is going into the middle, do you? I think it might just be a short one and try and protect it. Oh, it should be anyway.
And this. Martin. Asensio. He's found Rashford. Asensio. Oh, how is that not rolled in? It still might be. Rashford was waiting for the pull back. Spurs need it down the other end. There isn't time. And it is Aston Villa who go through to the 5th round of the FA Cup for the first time in a decade, as far as they're concerned. But for Spurs, their hopes of a trophy now solely rest on the Europa League. It's another defeat for their injury-hit squad. But it's Unai Emery who celebrates, because those 2 goals did the damage, and they go through, Alan.
Yeah, they were very much the better team. They scored a couple of goals and were in cruise control. There was a reaction from Tottenham Hotspur after half-time for 10 or 15 minutes, but Villa punished them. And then there was a little scare with a minute or 2 to go, but Villa deserved to go through. They're a better team, created more chances and wanted it more than Tottenham Hotspur, and showed more energy. They're the team that deserves to go through.
Aston Villa's momentum continues. Spurs' problems mount up. Aston Villa 2, Spurs 1.
And I mean, there's plenty to get into from that FA Cup 4th round tie. We'll start with Villa, who, Dion, are through to the 5th round for the first time in a decade.
Which is, that's a ridiculous stat, really, isn't it? A club like this and the players that have just come through the fingers of this club as well. But this is all new now. This is, you know, Unai Emery's coming. This is what it's all about. This is where the club needs to be. They need to be getting to the 5th round every single year and further, and start to win FA Cups as well. This is good time for the Villa fans. They've spent a lot of money travelling around the country watching their team, and now they're getting rewards for it.
Well, Joe, it's expected, isn't it? That's the thing with Villa now. They're 11 home games without defeat for Unai Emery's side. Champions League knockout stages. This is expected rather than hoped for.
Yeah, and that's credit to Unai Emery and the job that he's done, because obviously we've got to remember that when he came in, you know, the club were looking to survive in the Premier League. He's turned them into a proper Champions League team now. They had a huge belief today. Tottenham Hotspur are a big club in the Premier League, but Villa were always the favourites in this game, and they played like it. But if they want to go to that next level, I think they can do a lot of learning from this, because as good as they were today, they can be better, they can kill teams off. Because Tottenham shouldn't have had a sniff today, they really shouldn't, and they ended up having to deal with those frantic 5 minutes at the end.
Let's hear from the two goal scorers then. They're with Sarah Mulkerrant.
Well, there's a great atmosphere here, Jacob. I know we're going to struggle to talk to you now because you're through to the 5th round of the FA Cup, and you were one of the goal scorers today, and you scored pretty quickly. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I don't think we've been in the 5th round for a long, long while. I've been in the first team for 4 or 5 years. We've been getting knocked out in the first game, second game. So yeah, we wanted to put on a performance for the fans, and we did that today. Did you expect your goal to come that quickly? No, to be fair, when I hit it, it's on my weak side. It was kind of high up, and I thought the keeper was going to catch it, and luckily for me, he went back in the net. I'll bring in you, Morgan Rogers, player of the match. Jacob got you guys off the mark, and then in the second half, when Spurs were coming back into it, you were able to secure that victory.
Yeah, I think the second goal was important. I think we played really well first half, but we probably didn't kill the game off. We probably would have liked to. So in the second half, to get the second kind of gave us that cushion, because when they scored at the end, it would have been a different story. So probably could have scored a few more, but I think we're overall really happy with the performance, the energy, the intensity we played with, and deserved the win.
Could this be a special season for you all? Are you sensing that?
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to improve, I'm trying to get better, but with the team as well, we're trying to build on something, we're trying to create something, and I just want to play my part in that and do whatever I can to try and contribute, to try and do well, and see where it takes us.
And in terms of the additions, then we saw Rashford coming off the bench, Asensio, also Malen, who started. How good is that to have within the team now as well for the back half of the season?
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the best squads that we've had. You see the bench tonight with all the experience, Rashford coming on, Malen starting, Asensio coming on. The squad depth's unbelievable, and the starting players have got to raise their game now, because the players are coming on a big threat.
And is that helping you as well to keep pushing to greater heights? I mean, you're both having great seasons. Jacob's coming back into form. You've been playing ever so well.
Yeah, of course, it pushes us along. We also want to take what we can from the experienced players that we've got in the squad, the things that they've done in their career. Us two just kind of setting out our careers ourselves. It's good to take kind of what they've done and try and use it to our advantage and to push ourselves as well. And yeah, it's massive to have people like that in the door and in the building, and it just drives everyone on, and that's why we've got such a healthy squad, and hopefully we can just push each other.
Okay, congratulations today, and congratulations, Morgan, you are player of the match.
Thank you, thank you.
We'll talk more about Aston Villa's squad depth before we go off air. But if you're a manager, if you're a coach, and you hear two young players talking like that, it's great that they've come. We can learn from them. It's going to push us to a higher level. Yeah. It's like music to your ears, isn't it?
It is music to your ears. And when you hear young players, I mean, they were fantastic tonight. And he spoke about obviously keeping those standards, because there's players that's in a squad now that can sort of like potentially take your spot. When you hear that, and hear players talk with that sort of conviction, like it's really good.
Because it'd be very easy for some to go the other way and sulk and think, well, I've done great for the first 6 months, I'm now not going to get in for the second 6 months.
I absolutely loved hearing those two boys speak there. I've not heard a lot from them. I've seen them play, and I'm excited with them as players. They look like two young, humble, hungry players, and I can't help but start thinking about Marcus Rashford, and he can now be a leader for those players, and everything that he's done well can be celebrated. Asensio, multiple Champions League winner. They're coming in the building to drive these guys on. And like you said their attitude and their thought process, for Ramsey to say there, we need to really think about our first team spots, because these guys are coming to competition. Healthy competition is a dream for a manager, and that was an excellent interview.
Let's take a look at the goals, shall we? The Villa goals to start with. And we go back to the very start, and they just had so much space from the first minute.
So much space, so much energy. I mean, look at the amount of options that he's got. He's got passes all over the place. They've got 2 or 3 options every time. And again, they don't lay a finger on him. Spurs players running by the side of the Villa players, out of position fullbacks. We know about the keeper, he won't want to see it back. But just look at the amount of space that every single Villa player has when he receives it. I know they're trying to squeeze, but the squeeze is so poor. They're going as individuals, they're not going as a team. Nowhere near him on the far side as well. If you're coaching this side now, Jermaine, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's too easy. We spoke before about Villa breaking lines, and they did it well, to be fair to them, but you know, it was just too easy. I think you have to make contact. You have to get closer to people, you know, to sort of like to go from your build phase and all the way through the pitch and to get a shot and goal and, you know, and get the goal. It's really disappointing from a Tottenham point of view in that. But Villa were fantastic. They, you know, they played with great energy. I thought on transition they looked really sharp and bright. Looked like they scored every attack. Disappointed from Tottenham.
Sorry, Chad. Just one quick thing on what Joe was saying about the young lad, which is great. But when you've got players like McGinn in there and Martinez, you mentioned Martinez, it was a great point, Joe. The point that you made about Martinez not wanting to lose, or
yeah, but not even at 2-0 up, you could see that McGinn and Martinez were very aware that those last 5 minutes were coming, and that's a mentality switch. And that's what I'm loving to see about Aston Villa. They're not just a team that's starting to do well, they're a team that's starting to plan how to win games. And obviously, it ended up being a difficult couple of moments. But that mentality of knowing what it takes to win, the 95, 96 minutes of concentration, because Villa were good today. They were only good, they weren't brilliant. And Tottenham were poor, but it still turned into a game. So if you want to go to that next level, you need people like Emi Martinez reminding them that good's okay, but to go to the next level, it's everything.
Can I just go back to your point on good in transition? What do you want to see from a team in transition? Do you want to see them go quickly? Do you want to see them go in control? Do you want to see everybody know where they're meant to be? A bit of everything?
I think it's recognising when you can go forward, because sometimes the ball turns over, and actually there's times where you think, OK, we can't go forward, we might have to just rebuild again, if that makes sense. But to have the intelligence, especially these young players, knowing when the ball breaks down to go bang within the first pass. I always say when you win the ball back, that first pass is so important, because you see a lot of teams, they win the ball back and then they give it away, and then it becomes a basketball match. But to have the intelligence on the first pass, to pick the right pass and to spring off that and go and create an attack and at the end of it get a goal, it's top performance tonight.
But then also, presumably, to immediately know where you've got to be, and that becomes second nature if it's drilled into you.
100%. That was very much a training ground move. It was receiving it on the half turn, playing out of the press, which is talked about and is ideal in that situation. I don't think Unai Emery could believe his luck that in the first minute that they were able to do that and get themselves through and get 1-0 up. But that's the difference between training it and learning it, because at the top level, it's the intensity. It's having the freedom and the clarity to move forward, play forward, and to know as a team when you have to put the brakes on and defend for a little bit. I saw that from Villa today. I didn't see it from Tottenham. They were half committed to everything they were doing. They mean well. They want to do well, but they're playing in fear a little bit at the moment, and to play that positive football is so difficult.
But you know, you speak about transitions, and you know, people can always say transit, but the most important thing about a transition is the finish at the end of it. And I think that's probably the only disappointing thing, really, in terms of Villa. Like, on another night, they would probably want to be more efficient in front of goal on that, because they're good on transition, but the most important bit is actually finishing it.
And actually, for a little spell in that second half, relatively, they were under the cosh a bit. Tottenham had a good spell. Yeah. And then just as Unai Emery was looking to make those changes, they made it 2-0.
Yeah, and I think it was always going to come, because they did. I mean, that ball there into nobody, as soon as the ball leaves the ground, it's a 50-50 challenge, and that's it. Look at the players going forward. Good runs as well. Good strength to make sure you keep the ball at your feet. Nice little composure, and then they get a little bit of luck here, and the ball just falls to Ramsey's feet, to Morgan Rogers' feet. It's just the patience here is good. The run's good as well. In behind, put into a dangerous area, can't sort his feet out. But Villa should have been 2-0 up very, earlier than this. Yeah. I just think Spurs, look, there's no talking, there's no real leaders back there. And when you make a mistake as well in this position, you have to be told by your teammates so that you don't keep making the same mistakes.
He's got a brilliant knack, Morgan Rogers, hasn't he, of just finding that space in the box at the right time.
But that's not an easy finish, by the way, because I think he knows that he has to go high. Because obviously there's bodies in the way and there's players on the line, but he knows in that quick decision where I have to go high and sort of like just toe punts it into the roof of the net. Really good finish.
That timing looked good, didn't it? That knowing when to progress. That's an experienced player. Well, it looks like an experienced player, and if you can make that your role, Frank Lampard immediately springs to mind. Just making it his role to organise, be there, and then from that moment to time to kill, to time his run from 18 to 6-yard box, you'll get so many goals.
OK, Villa are through. Let's get the thoughts from the Tottenham camp, though. Here's Ange Postecoglou with Sarah.
Well, Ange, can you give us your thoughts on that match, and maybe start with the first half in particular?
Yeah, obviously, disappointing we don't progress. It wasn't a great start. It's the last thing you want, but you know, that sort of gave them some momentum going into that 45 minutes, and we really struggled to sort of get some control. Also had an enormous chance at 1-0 to equalise. Second half, you know, we had to open up a little bit, which allowed them some opportunities on the counter, but you know, at the same time, I thought we got a better grip of the game, and unfortunately fell short.
And why do you think you struggled in that first half?
As I said, we obviously, when you go a goal down, it gives the opposition some momentum and some confidence into that, and we kind of struggled then to get a grip on the game. You know, ideally, you want to sort of try and wrestle control really early, and we didn't do that.
And you made the change at half-time, Basuma coming on. What did you say to the team at the break? Because there was more energy and intent.
Well, it was still in the game. You know, as disappointing as the first half was, like I said, we're only 1-0 down. We'd had a big chance to make it 1-1, so you know, we just needed to hang in there. And like I said, the second half was a lot more, you know, more like ourselves. And you know, second goal sort of made it a bit more difficult for us. But I always felt we were a threat going the other way, and but unfortunately not enough.
Yeah, was it in that moment that Rodgers scored that perhaps the game just faded away from you all?
To a certain extent, I mean, we still scored after that, and we still had some opportunities to create some more chances. You know, Kevin had a chance, so we're always still in the game. But yeah, like I said, concede an early goal and then concede a second makes it hard.
Out of 2 cup competitions in this week, what does that mean for you all as a team, kind of going forward for the rest of the season?
Yeah, nothing really changes. We, you know, we've got a couple of weeks now where we don't have midweek games. This group of players has done an unbelievable job for 2.5 months. Unbelievable job. Can't praise them highly enough for the effort they've put in. A real small group of players playing twice a week since the middle of November, and you know, they'll get some opportunity to recover now. We'll get some players back over the next couple of weeks, and look forward to you know, resetting and finishing the season strong.
And when you talk about resetting, is that looking significantly at the Europa League, looking at moving up the table in the Premier League?
Well, they're still very much our objectives. Europe's still very important to us, and we're in a great spot there. And I said we expect to get some players back over the next 2 weeks, which I think is the most important thing, because it gives a bit of a rest and respite for the group that have been doing it for the last 2.5 months.
Yeah, how important do you think that will be for this team? I know you've been talking about the injuries and the depletion and having to play so many games. Could the next couple of weeks actually change fortunes?
We'll get some players back, which will help. Like I said, we had 11 first-team players out today. Take that out of any team for one game and they'll struggle. We've been doing it for 2.5 months, so we'll get some players back, and I think that'll help.
And does that take a toll on the players that are going out week in, week out?
Yeah, of course it does. You can see that. You know, they're just going out there giving everything they can, but obviously, you know, it'd be a lot better for them if we had some help for them.
Okay, I appreciate your time, Ange.
Thank you. Thanks.
You know him. You've played for him. You like him. If you were to send him a message tonight, what would you say to him? Because I think you'd either have to be an Arsenal fan or have a heart of stone not to feel for him at the moment.
Stay strong. It's a tough moment, a real tough moment, and you can see that he feels it. He wears it, with his heart's on his sleeve. And at this moment in time, he's being tested. He's really being tested. He's being tested in his beliefs. He's being tested. He's asking questions of himself. Of course he is. We all do in difficult moments in time. But that's where you need support. You need the club behind you. You need the team behind you. And at this moment, that's what they really need. There's
how much now they haven't got midweeks for a bit and so on and so forth. How much is him with the players? How much is it his staff with the players? Where does he come into his own in trying to pick them up?
It's a complete collective. It's a complete collective. All of them working together. And by now, he's not a new manager. He's been there, over 18 months. He's well established at Tottenham Football Club. So that's his coaching staff. That's his personal relationships with the teams. That's the debriefs. The debriefs are so key. I know that in professional football, and I know how fans see football, and they think that people just turn up on a Saturday. But there's so much that's going on, and that's where the work comes in. They might have some midweeks free, but it's a time to rediscover who they are, because they're not playing the same football that they're practicing. Trust me, in training, they'll be bopping it through the lines, they'll be receiving it on the half turn. That is not happening out there at the moment.
But from a fan's point of view, we were they've been sitting right above the Tottenham fans today.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I think they shout at their players is move. Right? Move. to try and give them options when they have the ball. So is that the players? Is that coaches? Is that a bit of both? Because that's where their frustration was today.
It's everyone, and they're right, because everyone's accepted that Tottenham are going to be a team that play. You know, all the conversations about, you know, are they going to dig in 4-4-2 and ground out a few results? Okay, everyone's bought into it now at Tottenham, but to play proper, progressive, pressing football and possession football, you have to have movement, you have to have options. We've got so many options of Aston Villa players who aren't necessarily completely total football, but every single one's getting into their position with pace, with assertiveness, saying, give me the ball, if not, I'm going to take someone out of the way. Tottenham haven't got that. We were talking about young Archie Gray. Every time he got up and he looked up, Dion, you were feeling for him. Because he wants to play. He's been told by his manager to play. It's the way football's played nowadays, but there's just no options for him.
Well, you know what it is as well, Chaps? You know when you are in the situation that these Spurs players are in at the moment, and the observation is absolutely spot on, there's no options. There's no options because the players that should be giving the options don't have the confidence to have the ball in the positions where they can receive it because they're not backing themselves. So that, I hate to say this, but we used to call it hiding. Hiding. You know, so, I don't want it, pretend, you know, or go into a position where you can't receive it. And that's what's happening at the moment. No Spurs player, and Sonny, who's their best player, is at the moment going through that phase as well. Well, he doesn't want it because he's having a good time. Alan Shearer said it in comms. There was a shot to be had from 8 yards out, and Sonny nudged it to his mate.
Bread and butter for him when he's on.
You expect him to shoot there. I was surprised. I couldn't believe it. When the studio here was like, shoot. You know, he's so good with both feet. You know, even change the angle and get a shot on that. But listen, we've all been there. You know, I think everyone's, you know, we've played the game. We've been there where we've had periods where you're not playing well. And at times you do hide. But then sometimes it's about just going back to basics. You know, you stick together as a group. I know it sounds boring, but you stick together as a group. And sometimes it's not even about football. You know, sometimes you might have a week where you train well, because that's where it starts. And, you know, you might have a meal together as a team. But it is important that, you know, not just the players, the manager, the staff and everyone, they all stick together and regroup.
The other thing, sorry, Jay, the other thing, Joe, because I don't know the manager, Ange Postecoglou, you do. Would he want his players? Back in the day, we'd have a team meeting and the players would go, right, Gaffer, we want a meeting and we will have a chat amongst ourselves, what's going on. Would he want the players to do that, or would he want the players to still be under his umbrella?
It depends what they're going to talk about. If it's a discussion that he can feel it's a discussion about a mutiny, you know, we feel like we need to play 4-4-2 and hit it long, that's obviously when you're going to have problems. But, you know, being a senior player for him, knowing that every now and again you need to just say to the dressing room, can we just have 5 minutes? Lads, what are we thinking here? Where's everyone's heads at? You can give. We've all been in dressing rooms when we've said, "Here's the opportunity. I can feel frustration from you," and you get them out of nowhere. You get someone who's very passionately got some feeling towards it, and it just starts to change things. But you need everyone on the same page. However that works, whatever it looks like, that's what Tottenham need at the moment. You've got the fans pulling in one direction. You've got Ange fronting up talking about the injuries. You've got the players on the field who know they should be playing, but they're not quite getting in the position to get the ball at the moment, hoping someone else does it. It's not a good recipe, and it needs addressing.
But you can sense the frustration amongst the fans, and you can also sense a confusion amongst the fans, can't you? In the sense of they're not quite sure where to pin them. I know Daniel Levy will get an awful lot of criticism, and there were chants of Levy out here. But when you're looking from the football side of things, they're not quite sure really where the fault is, and that's, I think, what makes it quite difficult.
Yeah, it is difficult. Listen, there's been a lot of noise around Tottenham, and obviously the chairman, you know, the manager. Obviously, players have to take responsibility at the end of the day. You know, the manager.
It's not Ange Postecoglou's fault they couldn't pass to each other at Anfield, is it? Really?
But then, I mean, you look at. But obviously with Tottenham, you know, some people, you know, you say that you look at the infrastructure, and you look at the training ground and the stadium, and what a time to be a Tottenham player. Not too long ago, you know, Champions League final. You know, if we'd have got over the line and won the Champions League, you know, would everyone want that? Would be, you know, trying for Daniel Levy to leave. But listen, it's a difficult time, and you know, the manager, you know, everyone keeps saying about, obviously, you know, the injuries. I think when you look at not just the injuries, I mean, players that will start. You know, it's like the starting 11 players. You know, I think once he gets those players back and try and finish the season strong, it will make a difference.
Son had 16 touches today, which was the lowest amount of any player who started on the pitch. And it is confidence, Dion. I mean, all three of you have spoken about confidence and times of your career with lack of confidence, and that's what's happening at the moment.
And this finish here, that, you know, you could list about 5 or 6 players in the Premier League you want on the end of that. Sonny would be one. You know, when he's on it. But his confidence just is not right. He's choosing the wrong finish. He's not backing himself at all, is he?
Can't be scared to miss though, D. Like, you know when you miss chances.
This is the Alan Shearer one where he said he would expect him to hit it, and you did as well.
Touch strike.
But even that one there, so you know, even listen, there's bodies in the way, but when he's confident, you see Sonny, you know, changing the angle, hitting it with his left foot. You expect him to shoot there. But as soon as he passed there, you know that's a play. That's not confident.
When he's in the box and he can do that sharp step over and drag it back through, that's when you know he's on form, and you're just not seeing it. And you know, you talked about 5, 6 players you want at the end of that ball cross from Martinez. Martinez should be taken out of the equation there, but he's a good goalkeeper, so he puts himself in the position of, if you're not on it, I will save it. And that sums up where Tottenham are.
Yeah.
They got their goal from doing something slightly different to what they'd done the previous 85 minutes, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. But, you know, as we say, Tottenham are never going to be a team that are going to sling it in the box. But this is actually such a cultured, beautifully timed ball in from Kulusevski. And he receives it here. They feel like they're in control, Villa. Just peels off the back of him, gets a bit lost. Look, there's uncertainty in the middle of that defensive line for Aston Villa. They've got no recognised centre-halves out there. So a good quality ball in like that and a clever bit of movement just guides it in beautifully.
He's so good in those areas, Kulusevski. I think, you know, not so long ago, I think he's a similar goal at Man City. I think Madison scored.
Yeah, it sticks out.
When in those sort of areas, I mean, I suppose he's probably the one of this season that you thought, you know what, he's sort of like been at his level. But, you know, it's a good goal. And I mean, coming to the game too late, you know, I think that was a 90th minute. You know, when you come into the game too late, it's difficult.
But if you're actually looking for a positive there, then Matthias Tell is up and running for Tottenham.
I thought he did well. I thought he did well today. He's up there on his own. He's trying to hold the ball up. He's trying to hold the ball up for longer than he needs to because his teammates aren't getting up the pitch to help him out. I thought he did well today. He deserved his goal.
Let's just show you the fixtures that Tottenham have got coming up. Manchester United at home next weekend. They go to Ipswich. They have Manchester City at home as well. The Europa League, which becomes huge for them now, really, before a difficult home game against Bournemouth and Fulham away. I mean, it is to a certain extent all eggs in the Europa League basket, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. No getting away from it now. That has got to be the narrative of the season. That's when they need their players fit for. That's when the focus and Tottenham have to come to life and have to unite. It looks like they're going to just kind of bodge their way through the Premier League season. Unfortunately, if we're being brutally honest, that's what's going to happen. Because the Premier League smells Tottenham at the moment. They know how to play against Tottenham Hotspur. They know if they put pressure on them, it's going to be difficult. Europa League, different animal, different leagues, more respect coming into it, and you can create those special nights, and that's where their head's going to be at.
We'll tidy up Tottenham, and then we're going to hear from Unai Emery in just a second. You know, you made your point about if there was a players' meeting and they all said, no, we wanted to play this way and play 4-4-2 and whatever.
Yeah.
Is there anything wrong with that? And would you, as a coach, listen?
There wouldn't have been something wrong with it.
Years ago.
Now that would be a huge problem. Yeah. Because the
players saying to a coach, we want to play this way.
Yeah, nowadays, before that's like we just feel like we need more security, but nowadays the club is set up to play the way that Ange wants to play. The youth team, Jam, correct me if I'm wrong, is set up to play that Ange wants to. So the whole team now becomes an infrastructure to play a certain way. Whereas before, it was like the first team were going to do what they were going to do on a Saturday and everyone worked around it. But I think that would be a huge problem in modern football.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's a huge problem. I think it's great for the foundations of the football club and the kids coming, but I think it's a huge problem. If you can change something in order to help you win a game of football just for half an hour and the manager doesn't allow you to take it on board, then surely that's a good thing. We know the backbone is to play to squeeze, but if you can change something and win the game, I don't see what the problem is with that.
With coaches now. I think the coaches come in and right, these are my principles and nothing changes. You know, you hear a lot of managers come out now and say, even when you're losing games, but these are my principles. Like, you might tweak it a little bit, but nothing changes.
That genuinely surprises me. Like, genuinely, because if a group of players, we think we'd be better off doing this.
It shocked me saying it. I've only realised in the discussion that, obviously, my career is not a long career, it's 20 years, but right up until 15 years, there were conversations of when we would say, look, we want 3. We just feel this for the benefit of the football club. And now I think about it now, how detrimental that would be to the club, to how they set things up. Look at like Manchester United. Imagine the youth academies now are trying to play the Amaron way, whichever way that is. But it would cause huge problems.
I grew up in an environment at West Ham. I remember where in meetings, in debriefs, spoke about debriefs where like a Paolo Di Canio would actually stand up in the meeting and literally take control of the meeting. And as a young player, I'm seeing this, thinking, okay, but then you get positive change after that. But then I could never imagine that happening now.
I also love the fact where you went back in the day. We'd have and then you changed it to meeting rather than go to the pub.
Yeah,
which is go to the pub and sort it out. Right, let's turn our attentions back to Aston Villa. Here's Unai Emery.
Congratulations, Unai, through to the 5th round of the FA Cup. Aston Villa haven't done that since 2015. That must be very pleasing.
Yeah, very happy. It really was a fantastic match against Tottenham, very difficult team, and we played very well, really very well. And after a long time, we weren't achieving to be in the 5th round. Of course, very happy, and very happy for our supporters, because as well, I know how much it means, this competition, for the supporters, for us as well, and very happy. Firstly, because we are in the next round, and secondly, because we played more or less again well, like we planned, dominating, playing confidence as well, and personality. And I think everything we did today, more or less, was being good.
A dream start with Jacob Ramsey scoring so early, but that first half in particular, you were able to cut through that Spurs midfield time after time. That must be pleasing for you.
Yes, we played very well. We are happy when the player is scoring. He had more chances. Even he had chances to assist some teammate. But of course, we need his best performances of Jacob Ramsey, and I think he's progressively getting better. He's now more or less being consistent without injury. And of course, we will need for the rest of the season players being physically good. Someone they are injured, but they are coming back for the next weeks. And of course, we added another players as well. Today playing like Malen, Andres Garcia, and then as well playing Marco and Rashford. And of course, hopefully we can get again building the team in the structure we want to create and be strong for the next matches and the next challenges we have in front.
Morgan Rogers got the second. When you were under a little bit of pressure from Spurs, how good has he been for you this season?
Yes, Morgan is performing fantastic, and his commitment to do his task every day, the minute 1 and minute 90, is really fantastic, being versatile in different positions. And of course, I think today was a lot of things positive. After the result, of course, first is the result, but then as well how we perform individually and collectively. And I think this is the way. Will be the way very demanding for us, and we know, and we have to improve and increase our level in the competition we are. In the FA Cup, of course, now we are with the motivation we will need to try to get something here, Champions League and Premier League. Of course, still a lot of work to do, and still a lot of challenges we can have in front.
I could see you in the...
He says they've got a lot of work to do. They've done a lot of work in this transfer window. The options he has available to him. I know Duran went, but Marlon's come in, Rashford, Asensio. We've talked about Ramsey. We've talked about Morgan Rogers. He's got options.
Yeah, and I would imagine for a manager to look over your shoulder and look at your bench and go, who do I put on? Because I've got so many to choose from. It must be a great... I mean, I thought Marlon did well today. He worked really, really hard. He's an absolute nuisance. He's in the face of the centre-halves all the time. He's strong, his balance was good, gets into dangerous area, doesn't watch his pass, gets into a dangerous area, just in case it pops out from the keeper as well. Just a great centre-forward display.
Just energy levels, I think it's the first thing you should bring to a football match, and the quality that he's got, is dynamic, look really bright and sharp, really good performance.
Their business is really clever, isn't it, Joe? Just just in general, whether it's taking Garcia, who's a right-back from Levante, whether it's getting Rashford on loan from Manchester United, Asensio from Paris Saint-Germain, but Morgan Rogers comes from the Championship. I mean, they're just really, really well run.
Yeah, they look like they've got a clear plan. They look like they've got contingency plans as well. Because also, whenever there's been a problem or whenever you've seen Villa linked with someone, often it's happened because they've done the business, they've had the conversations, and they don't go for people who are out of their reach. Look, they brought Marcus Asensio and Marcus Rashford to the football club to bring them on. They've obviously had conversations with them and said, look, where's your heads at? What do you want? Because they're not going out to a team where they can just put their feet up and earn more money. They've come to work and to bring this club on and set examples. Marcus Rashford was flying out of the blocks here. You know,
look at this as well.
That's just beautiful football. You could see in the first 15 minutes the hunger in them to perform and to reach the levels that they know they can. They've both got lost a little bit in football, and they just thought they needed that release. And if it comes off, then it's just incredible January business. And it would have been all topped off nicely if he just squared that to a sense.
It's a very well-built squad, isn't it, Jermaine?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell, you know, you can see all the patterns and all the passes, and everyone's in sync with the movement. You know, he's a top manager. As a manager, has won, I think it was 11 trophies. Or, you know, he's an experienced manager. But you know, you talk about recruitment. They recruited well, but it was just nice to see Marcus Rashford come on and have that sort of energy levels and. You know, it's a good debut. And I mean, some people score 2 on their debut.
Oh, God, the number of times we had the number 9 shirt weighs heavy. The number 9. Look, very quickly, Liverpool have gone out today. Chelsea went out last night. If you're looking at the usual suspects, Arsenal have gone as well. For someone like a Villa, opportunity knocks.
And with a manager like Unai Emery, he's the kind of person that will want to go all the way as close as he possibly can, and he's got the tools to do it as well, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, such a strong squad. I think the squad is important. You know, you said before, dear, about, you know, when you look at your bench and who can come on and impact the game and make a difference, and they've definitely got that now.
But there are going to be lots of clubs who think there's a chance here.
100% seize the moment. Foundations are here at Aston Villa. Foundations are at teams like Newcastle. They're ready to go on an ascendancy, and the clubs are ready to come with them.
Thank you very much, all 3 of you, for tonight. Aston Villa are through to the 5th round. The draw will be on the One show tomorrow, then Doncaster Palace on the iPlayer after that. Bye for now.
Welcome to a crackling Villa Park. Jacob Ramsey has given Villa the early goal 1 minute into the tie. Son for 1-1. Martinez to the rescue. Porro and the follow-in is from Morgan Rogers, and Aston Villa double their advantage. Tell? A flicker of hope for Tottenham, and there isn't time, and it is Aston Villa who go through.
Number 20.
Manchester United are going to face Leicester City.
League 2, Doncaster Rovers. It's knocked up to Eza on the turn. Oh, yes!